All right, let's welcome in our powerhouse panel. Joining us this morning, radio host and Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps, and former Deputy Press Secretary at the White House, also a Newsmax contributor, Hogan Gidley. We were talking about this last hour, but here it is. All the major legacy networks, all right, they're not going to be legacy for much longer, but ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, all pumping up tonight's big, for the first time, hearings in prime time. Take a look.
And CBS News will have full coverage of the first public hearings from the January 6th committee tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We hope you will join us tomorrow night.
ABC News will bring you live coverage of the hearings beginning Thursday on air and on our streaming channel, abcnewslive.com.
And to hear the truth, tune into MSNBC for our special coverage of the January 6th committee beginning right here at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tell your family, tell your friends, this matters to America.
Tell your friends, Hogan. Make sure you tell your friends about that.
I don't think Hogan's going to be watching.
Joy Reid's going to fill us in on what happened 2 years ago on January 6th. Look, we can all agree this was a bad day. Yes. How much of this do you think, this partisan pageant that we're going to see starting tonight, how much of this is about Donald Trump?
Well, first things first, I want to go back to something you guys started with before you brought in the panel. Whenever Joe Biden repeats himself, it means the American people are losing. Yes. And this happens across the board. So speaking of failure, what we're going to see tonight is an abject failure for the American people, because we don't care about this nonsense, this show trial, this Hollywood produced, slickly edited possibilities for them to create advertisements for themselves back at home. What we care about are gas and groceries. The Democrats don't have answers for any of these things. So what they're going to try to do tonight is force the American people back to a time and place in which we saw some stupid people do some stupid things for a few hours in this country and try and tar and feather the rest of the nation that doesn't agree with their policy prescriptions with somehow being insurrectionists. The whole thing is a joke. The people see right through it. No one cares about this. We're focused on what we need to do to make our lives better. The Democrats are focused on political power grabs, and this is the latest example of their efforts.
Allison, you agree?
Absolutely.
Do the American people care about this right now?
No, I don't think they care about it. I think people will tune in just to see what they're talking about, and they're going to quickly tune out. This is going to be a made-for-TV, segment. They've got a former news producer. They're going to have sound bites and video and all these things, and they're going to try and drum up emotions. And this is what they're holding on to, because I believe that they're fearful that Donald Trump will run again. So this is all they have. They don't have anything else to go on. So we're going to keep holding on to what happened a few years ago and hope that maybe we can switch Americans' minds come 5 months from now when the midterms happen.
By the way, Donald Trump is going to watch this with popcorn. This will help Donald Trump. All right? Yeah. Adam Kinzinger, who's not even running for re-election, this Republican that's on the commission. Liz Cheney, she's not going to win in Wyoming, Chris. This is a sham. It's a partisan sham. We knew that from the start when Nancy Pelosi rejected Jim Banks and Jim Jordan from being a part of this committee. That would have made it at least somewhat bipartisan. We are only going to hear one side and bits and pieces of what took place on January 6th. Do the American people tune in and actually watch this?
I don't think so. And I think part of the reason why Nancy Pelosi didn't want Republicans on this panel, because Republicans were going to ask questions. What did she know and when did she know it regarding the Capitol Police protection? These hearings have two purposes. One, to try to help the Democrats in the midterm, and as Allison said, also to hurt Donald Trump. And I think you could throw a third reason into that. We all know that President Trump was a huge ratings boom for the networks. And since he's gone, they've lost a lot of viewership. So I think they're going to, of course, drum up and make Donald Trump the center of this. And they're trying to make a little money and increase their ratings on the back of Donald Trump, I think.
Joe Biden giving his first interview with a network in 118 days, by the way. This is a sitting president, by the way. He ran for president. I looked this up yesterday. So I was curious about vacation time. So Joe Biden vacation, and this is low-hanging fruit. Everybody talks about this when the other guy loves to golf. And that was a lot in 4 years. Obama, only 328 days in 2 terms. Joe Biden, so far, in 16 months, 130 days at his Delaware mansions alone, 52 at Camp David. He's been to Nantucket. He's on pace. This is in 4 years, all right? So we've got 2.5 more years of Joe Biden. If he keeps up his current pace, he will be at 553 days in a 4-year term. That would be the most in presidential history. Put another way, that is 79 out of 204 weeks as president away from the White House. Wow. Like, wow. Wow, if you want to be president. I can't even remember where I was going with this. Where was I going? Oh, yeah.
His first
Hogan.
interview.
Yes, his first interview. But I was going to ask you, Hogan, just quickly, how do you go about convincing the networks to actually air this? You were there in the White House as a deputy press secretary. Is it just a phone call? You call your buddies over at CBS and say, hey, put this in prime time.
Well, it helps if everyone who runs these networks are in your pocket. It helps if they're all your best friends. It helps if they also hold your same ideology and your prescriptions for policy. And that's what happens here. All the Democrats have to do is reach out to the folks at the network who are made up, 90 some odd percent of Democrats themselves, and say, hey, we need some time. We need some help on how to make this thing palatable for the American people. Look, if folks are turning away from watching network news, I don't think congressional hearings are what's going to be bringing them back into the fold. I mean, when you had lead-ins like Seinfeld and Friends and some big shows.
And Bob Hart's Abishola. I told you, it's a hit.
Of course.
It's a hit.
Thursday night in June.
Now you're talking about a couple of idiots talking about congressional policy, and no one's tuning into this. No one cares.
Joe Biden's on with Jimmy Kimmel last night, and there's not a single question about gas prices. I don't know how you have a president sitting next to you and you don't ask him about record after record everyday gas prices. Here's Joe Biden, though, talking about the Republican Party. He says, it's not your father's Republican Party. Listen. Oh, I'm speechless. I'm speechless there.
He had a lot to say there.
Did you guys hear that? I didn't hear anything. Did you hear it?
I didn't hear anything.
My earpiece? No?
Even if you'd have heard it, it would have been the same result as him not having
He just probably repeated
So
himself.
Joe Biden right there, control room, I don't know what's going on there. Joe Biden says that the GOP is not your father's Republican Party. Then Jimmy Kimmel says, why don't you just issue an executive order talking about gun control? He goes, your predecessor used to issue executive orders like he was passing out Halloween candy. That's a quote. If you look into the executive orders, Jimmy Kimmel is wrong. He's misinformed. Donald Trump issued 55 a year throughout 4 years in office. Joe Biden is on pace for 67 a year, so 12 more. So wrong again. Emerson has some polling on Joe Biden. Quinnipiac came out with a poll yesterday. They put his approval rating, Chris, at 33%. Yeah. We're starting to get close to where Nixon was around the time of Watergate.
Yeah, Nixon was at 24% when he left office. And can you really blame the president for not talking about gas prices when you're in Los Angeles and gas in Los Angeles is at $6 or $7 a gallon? So I don't blame him for running away from that, or Jimmy Kimmel not asking him that question. And the whole answer that he gave, talking with this good economic news, I couldn't have witnessed anything that was more tone deaf when you have Americans struggling to buy baby formula, fill up their cars. It just sounded tone deaf, but I know you've got to say something positive when your administration is going this badly.
Just quickly, I want to show you this tweet yesterday. So Joe Biden is out in Los Angeles, California, getting ready for the Summit of the Americas. President of Mexico's no-showing at this. So the White House tweets this out. Who is running your Twitter account? Why would you tweet this? So they want people to tune in and watch Joe Biden speak to welcome the crowd at the 9th Summit of the Americas. Look at lower left-hand side of your screen. Look how many viewers. Not a single viewer was watching this. You think anybody's going to watch the January 6 hearings?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think so. We'll get
So
the ratings, though,
embarrassing.
tomorrow. We'll have those ratings for you on Wake Up America. Panel,
That was the average. That was the average for most of his campaign events too. So I don't know why you're surprised at all.
Not even one. Not even somebody back at the White House who's like, hey, I guess we should watch the boss, right? Yeah,
Ratings gold, everybody.
Yeah.
You're president.
Allison,
Ratings gold.
congratulations on your marriage, too.
Thank
I
you
want to
so
get that
much.
out. And
Thank
the
you,
pictures
Chris.
look beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm
And
surprised
let's
you
take
came
that
back.
Let's take that St. Lucia rum theme all the way through tonight and develop some type of Newsmax drinking
There we
game.
go.
And we have to drink rum every time someone says something insurrection-y.
Hogan,
Oh, boy, we won't be working
We got 12
tomorrow
hours to
morning
go. we better wait a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to be rough watching that. It's going to be rough watching that anyway. Panel, thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Christopher Arps, Hogan Gidley. Thank you.